Hello guys and welcome back to the Traitors US, and today we're going to be talking about episode 2. We've got the first murder, the first banishment, and really our first look at how the game is going to play out. How are the traitors faring? How are the faithful faring? And most importantly, how is the series going to fare? So, without much further ado, let's get straight into the video. So, before we get into the video, I'm gonna have to do my little please subscribe to me kind of thing because you guys are doing so well. We're over 550 subs, which is crazy. And we've got to keep that momentum moving. Come on, we are trying to get to 600 subscribers by the end of February, which is crazy. The fact that we're able to jump from 500 to 600 within a month is going to be crazy. So you guys have got to keep that train moving, keep on going. You guys can do it. I believe in you. If you're liking the content, make sure you subscribe. I see you out there. Some of you are watching this and you're not subscribed. I can see you. Yes, I'm talking to you, Keith. And you, John. And you, Mary. Yes, I can see you. You're not subscribed to my videos. Come on, what's the dealio? What's happening here? So, without much further ado, and I know I just said it a moment ago, let's get into the video. But only after you subscribe. So, one thing I noticed about this episode was the fact that I feel like they haven't quite mastered suspense. The three names that were brought up at the end of the last episode were Brandy, Kate, and Reza, and Brandy walked in first. So immediately, that's kind of it's narrowed it down to two suspects too early. The second season was very, very good at keeping whatever three names they came up with at the end of the episode, they kept them right until the end and then drip fed them one by one until the last person was no longer there. I think that's a really, really smart way of doing it. But it did just feel a little bit underwhelming that Brandy came in first and it was like, oh, okay. So now it's between Kate and Reza. Nice, I guess. Because then they leave like one extra person as well. And then it's just like, oh, well, it's not going to be them because they weren't spoken about as someone to murder. So like, what's going on here? So yeah, Brandy came in first and she said she wants people gone. She does not like some people at this in this group of people, which is so funny because like I will say this again later on, but like Brandy is actually very, very relatable. I do find her quite funny and quite entertaining. Is she a bit of a bitch? Yeah, kind of. But I do like that kind of bitchy person because she's funny without being like I don't know. It's not coming across as like nasty because I'm finding it really, really funny and I'm finding it hilarious. So yeah, on the whole, Brandy, I'm liking her. People are suspecting Ari because they're like, oh, no one would suspect the Bachelor, surely. Like, oh, that's a crazy notion. And then we found out, unfortunately, that Reza had gone. It's a smart move to get rid of him, I think. I think he was definitely someone that was riling up a lot of trouble. People were starting to doubt themselves or like during the challenges and things like that. So I think it was smart to get rid of him because it kind of enabled them to have a kind of where am I going with this? So yeah, I think it was smart to get rid of Reza, break up that trio most importantly. I personally would have gone for Kate because I feel like Brandy and Kate are like this. And I mean personally after this episode I would have gone for Brandy, but like that's a different matter entirely. But there are a few suspicions that are being thrown around, interestingly. Geraldine and Steph are throwing sus on Michael because Reza was apparently annoying him in the trial, and they said, oh, maybe he could have gotten rid of him overnight because he was angry. It's an interesting hypothesis. I think Geraldine is barking up the wrong tree. I don't think she realizes that people are bringing up her name at the moment, which is making this a little bit uncomfortable. But on the whole, not too bad, not horrendous. She did well, and what am I talking about? She didn't do well. It's just fucking breakfast. Oh my god. It's been one of those days, guys. I'm so sorry. The last couple of things I want to talk about is that Christian was just going in on Geraldine, being like, oh, think it might be Geraldine. I think it might be Geraldine. But now that's making Brandy suspicious of him, and he keeps mentioning Geraldine's name to like a couple of people, and Christian's now starting to get a lot of sus on him. It's not looking good for him, I'll be honest. Lots of people are very, very suspicious of him, and honestly, I don't blame them. So, the mission today was interesting because it started off with like, oh, it's gonna be hide and seek, and I was like, oh my god, is this gonna be like a brand new mission for the US version? No, they've just decided to mix up the order of how they're gonna do things. Oh yeah, it's a bit of a shame. It's a bit of a shame that they're doing the same missions as UK season 1. Apparently this season was filmed first, so think of that what you will. So maybe UK was the one that was reusing them, but then again, like UK was the one that was shown first, so doesn't matter. Anyway, so my point being is this was the grave digging challenge, the one where they've got to run through the gardens of the castle and then make their way to the graves that their friends rely on them to get them out of. It was a pretty bog standard challenge, I guess. It's a shame because I know how all of these challenges work just from watching the UK version, and so like the element of mystery and intrigue is kind of left. It was there when I was watching it for the first time, but now I'm watching it for like the second/third time because I've technically watched season 1 again since. Yeah, yeah. I'm fine if I never saw these Childs again. Do you know what I mean? It's all right. The funniest thing was blue team just running in the complete wrong direction and then being like, oh no, we're going in the wrong direction. Quick, fuck, we gotta run back. And then some of the teams were just so hilariously bad at digging. And I've got to say, Kate is a spirit animal. She's so funny. She had me howling so many times throughout this episode with just some of the things she said. And she was like, I'm not good at digging. And I'm okay with that. It just kept on making me chuckle. I actually really, really do like Kate. I love that she's got such a I give zero fucks attitude. And I think that's kind of perfect for this game because especially when you're calling out the right people, Christian, it means that you're most likely to be kept around because they don't want to kill you and throw sus on themselves. So hopefully Kate gets to stick around for a while. Her and Brandy, very funny. I'll talk more about them later. But the mission itself, they managed to get 4 out of the 6 people out of their graves before the challenge was over. They actually almost got everyone out, but they were like a couple of seconds too late. So yeah, it just is what it is. There's not really much you can do about it, and it is a shame. But they did manage to get $20,000 to add. What the fuck happened there? I'm so used to watching Drag Race, and when he goes like $50,000, yeah, tough. Yeah, I need to stop watching Drag Race. Actually, I don't because I love Drag Race. But yeah, on the whole, very, very interesting mission. I was kind of on my phone through it, I'll be honest. So like, I've got highlights, but they're not that good. They're just kind of like, oh, it was Andy that led them the wrong way. Oh, they didn't really manage to get everyone out. Yay. I don't know whether Christian's just never seen a reality show before or he's just horrifically bad at playing them. But something's going on with his game that is starting to wind me up and piss me off in that order. It's tough because he's going in and he's being like, yo guys, I think it's Geraldine. All the names I'm hearing, Geraldine. Everyone's voting Geraldine. To like so many different random groups of people that people are starting to pick up on the fact that he is campaigning. And especially, this was something that was a problem on the Australia version, but on the US version, a lot of these people grew up watching reality shows like Big Brother and Survivor, where campaigning became a big way to win the game. So they're very, very wary of people trying to do that because they're like, if you're trying to do that, then clearly there's some kind of agenda there. Are you a traitor? Is what I would be asking. And I think that is exactly what they should be asking. Christian is blowing his game up from the get-go, and it's really starting to fuck me off because he could have been a very, very good traitor, but now he's letting the fact that he's trying to lead the charge on an innocent, and it's just weird to watch, uncomfortable somewhat. Brandy's already onto him. Brandy's also onto Sari as well, but with Sari it's kind of like, oh, I think it could be her, but like I don't want it to be her. There's less of a certainty with Sari, but there's a certainty with Christian from Brandy's edge. So yeah, honestly, I think Christian's just doing the most, and it's causing him to make people suspicious. Andy's even suspicious. So like, yeah, honestly, it's a tough one. I want Christian to do well, but I think he's going to be out in the next couple of round tables. I don't think he's going to make it very, very far, purely because he's playing the game so fucking poorly. So incredibly poorly indeed. So it's time to talk about the round table. This is our first time with the 19 players around the table, and I gotta say, this was a dramatic one. I can tell that the round tables in the US version are going to be sizzling. They are going to be glorious. They're going to be so dramatic because they know exactly how to make drama. They're really, really good, some of these people, at making dramatic moments on TV. Cody started by being like, the two names that have been brought up are Geraldine, Michael. You two duke it out. Christian was saying that Geraldine's body language was suspicious, but I don't think body language is something that you can necessarily go off because, once again, to be fair, this is the first time that this was done in the US, so a lot of these people hadn't seen this format before, so it's harder to pick up on the subtle things when you're in the game for the very first time and you've never seen it before. When it comes to season 2, I'm expecting these people to be able to pick up on bullshit like this. Pick up on the fact that body language is not a good tell. Being nervous does not equal being a traitor. It just doesn't, because you can be nervous and be a faithful. Many people are. They're worried they're going to get murdered. Seriously. So the fact that her leg was shaking after it was revealed who the traitors were means absolutely nothing, and you're just latching onto this, building this narrative, and I'm really, really surprised that no one's like thinking you're suspicious, Christian. Geraldine did absolutely nothing. Oh, it was really, really tough. And then Michael was like, yo, Geraldine, what's this I've been hearing about? Hang on, let me do the accent. What's this I've been hearing about you going round? I actually don't know what his accent is, but it's south somewhere, I think. And he was like, why have you been going around saying that me and Reza had a conflict after the mission? And she went, I didn't say that. And Stephanie even back to her and was like, no. We were just saying that you guys had a disagreement over stuff that happened in the trial. It was very, very clear Geraldine didn't know how to defend herself, and she kind of shut down, and she just let everyone talk at her. She said a couple of things, but like, she didn't say much, which was a shame. And I feel like if she had said something, she maybe could have saved herself a little bit more. Yeah, it's tough, because I think when you get into this room, it's very daunting. That room, the Australia room, I felt was too nice. The UK one is oppressive. It's like, it feels very dingy, even though it's very, very well lit. It just feels oppressive. So like, it can sort of stop you from making the points that you want to make if other people are just leading a charge on you. I did find it very interesting that Michael openly admitted the fact that he was campaigning for G, and then Kyle and Kate were like, well, you came up to us during the mission and was like, you're voting Geraldine, right? The mission isn't time for that. The mission is time to win money. We talk about that after the mission's done. And Kate even was like, well, you said if you don't vote for Geraldine tonight, I'm going to murder you, or I'm going to vote you out, or something like that. And Kate was like, I don't respond well to ultimatums, so I think it's you. I think you're the traitor. It's hilarious how they bark up the wrong tree so early on, but I do agree that Michael is acting really suspicious. Geraldine's done absolutely nothing wrong, bless her. She's done nothing wrong apart from having some dodgy body language at the start. But Michael is really, really fucking it, I think. And he's like, oh, I have social anxiety. If you had social anxiety, why would you enter a game that involves like social deception, building up alliances, betraying other people? It just doesn't make sense. This is not the kind of game, I think, where you can use, oh, I have social anxiety as an excuse, because otherwise, why the fuck are you here? Do you know what I mean? I wouldn't expect the people that I'm friends with who have severe social anxiety or don't really know how to talk to people to enter this kind of game, because I know they'd struggle. And I think they know they'd struggle. So is this an excuse or is it a genuine reason? To which point, like, why are you here? What's going on? The last thing I wrote down was that Geraldine just didn't defend herself at all during this trial. And honestly, it was tough to watch. So we come on to voting time. So Kyle voted for Geraldine. Rachel voted for Geraldine. Quentin voted for Geraldine. Brandy voted for Michael. Sari voted for Geraldine. Amanda for Geraldine. Azra for Michael. Kate for Michael. Andy for Michael. Ari for Michael. Christian voted for Geraldine. Geraldine voted for Michael. Michael voted for Geraldine. Cody voted for Geraldine. Shelby voted for Michael. Angelica voted for Michael. Ryan voted for Geraldine. Bam voted for Geraldine. And Steph voted for Geraldine. So there was an 11-8 split between Geraldine and Michael, and unfortunately Geraldine had to go. Tough is what I would call that. It's not nice to be the first person voted out, especially when you are in fact a faithful, and I don't think that their reasoning was sound enough to get rid of her. So it just became a bit of an awkward, guys, I'm a faithful, and then everyone being like, ugh. And then Brandy was like, told you. I knew she was innocent. It's Michael. And especially after the banishment, Brandy and Kate were so done with everyone's bullshit. So done with the, oh, we're going to miss Geraldine. You just voted her out. What do you want to do? Bring her back? Go on, bring her back. What are you going to do? Like, you voted her out. You can't be upset about it now. That's not how this works. And low-key, kind of agree with them. They are a mood. They are very funny. And I do very much so enjoy them. And maybe I'm going to have to start watching Below Deck and The Real Housewives of Beverly Hills. I can't be watching more reality shows. Okay, very, very quickly before we finish off this episode, the Traitors Tower, it kind of ended on a cliffhanger. We didn't get any names whatsoever, which I feel like was a big mistake. Like, I love the fact that after every episode they leave us with some names, but they didn't. They just mentioned that Brandy has dropped Sari and Christian's name, and then kind of ended it there. So that's kind of it. That's the episode. So thank you guys very, very much for watching. I hope you guys enjoyed, and I will see you guys for the next episode, whenever that may be. Make sure to like, comment, subscribe, do all that YouTube stuff that you guys do so well, and I'll see you guys in the next episode. See you later. Keep on ranting. Bye now.